But his story is special because he's one of those guys who came in here and he had it all together. And then he realized that, fuck, there's some darkness he had to deal with. And then he went up and down, eventually, left the brotherhood because he thought he already had everything. Like, how many times we're like, oh, I already got it. Thank you. I already got it. They realized, like, fuck. The reality is the lone ranger, the lone wolf, always sabotages himself. You have to be part of a fucking tribe because the enemy has strategies to isolate you. The moment that he isolates you, that's the moment that he'll control you. So let's welcome to the stage Justin Ritchie.
Two clubs.
All right, brothers. So as Raul said, I'm coming up here on my 7-8 year cycle. And for today, I want to be able to give you a hack so it doesn't take you 7 to 8 years. So it can be a faster, a less painful journey. And I want to go back to Yarix. I know it's Yarek. Look, good thing he's not here. So there's been a lot of concepts that Raul has been talking about in the last 24 hours. Consciousness, building a $100 billion brand, $100 billion brand, $100 million businesses. That is the standard in which he is guiding us. And yesterday we heard Yarek's story. He shared with us his story. He shared with us his peaks and his valleys of pain. And I've been very fortunate to be able to see and be by his side and other brothers along that journey. Because right now, those that have never or didn't know Yarek, you're just seeing him at one of his peaks, his current peaks. And it might seem unreachable. As it was for me also when I first came in to the brotherhood. I saw other brothers and it seemed like they were untouchable. Or it was going to take me so long to be able to reach where they have reached. So, I'll get back to this part. Because right now, last year at this time, at this same conference and this same event, Raul invited me to come speak. This is about my 4th, 5th, or 6th presentation that I've shared my journey. The difference is that the other presentations, I was always at my peaks. At a different peak. But this time when Raul invited me to speak, I did not feel like I was at that peak. And when he asked me, I was like, first thing I was like, yeah, Raul, got it, brother. Because I'm always saying yes. But as soon as I got off the call with him, like, fuck. And I went into that down mode. Why? Because I am still not here. I'm inches away from my next peak. So how can I come to you guys if I'm not here yet? So I started wrestling and almost wanted to call Raul back and be like, Raul, you know what? Give me until the next leadership. Once because I know the next one, I'll be there and I'll be able to share the journey, brothers. But then as I got quiet and sat with myself, I allowed the voice to come in. And the voice began to tell me, no, I am calling you to share your pain in your pit, in your tunnel. Currently. But before that, I'm going to give you some context. So right now we're sitting right here. End of 2025. Last year, 2024, I was at a peak. I had done everything necessary to prepare for that year. More than any other year with my teams, my business, everything. Tapped in, tuned in, turned on. By the middle of last year, everything seemed perfect. Literally at the 6-month benchmark, my numbers, everything was just amazing. And at the beginning of that year, I had decided to become kingdom focused, which was a concept that I've been studying and trying to understand. What does that mean? Because they tell us a lot of concepts, but how do we integrate this to our business? How do we integrate this to our lives? Because it is said, focus on the kingdom first, and everything will be added upon to you. But what does that mean in business? How do we do that? So I went on the quest of just believing. And sure enough, when I come to the 6-month mark, I thought, well, shit, God, he's really giving it to me. But then I hit a wall. And it wasn't like a slow, it was like a screeching halt in my business. All of a sudden, first I thought it was just the market. But then 3 months, 6 months passed. Shit. I began to discover that there was a lot of leaks, cracks, a lot of re-engineering to do. So that made me doubt everything that I had, my journey had been up until then. These last 7 years, 8 years. All this preparation, all this work to once again be in a tunnel. That feeling once again of doubting. Because once I get into that screeching halt in the business, it makes me question everything else. It starts fucking up my flow in my sex life. Go from an average of 4 to 5 times a week to 1 to twice if I'm lucky. Fuck, that will fuck you up. And then that's just a spiraling effect. But then right then and there, I started to just step back and say, wait a second. Beginning of the year, I became focused. So I had a choice. It's either, I think of this as a tunnel, a pit, and I can sedate into the trap, or I can use my preparation as I have to use it as a trampoline, a launch. So then I had to go back and really look at my journey. And this is the goal I have for you guys. Because right now, in the audience, there are many of you, this may be your first, second, third time in this leadership. You guys are coming, observing, still wondering if you should really go all in. If you should take the next steps to the next programs. If you should really, because each time you say yes to you're saying yes to yourself. You're saying yes to that future version of yourself that is waiting for you. So I went back and analyzed my pits and my peaks, and I remembered when I started. When I came into this organization, I was at about, I'm not sure exactly, but I was probably revving about 1 to 3 million per year. And I came here at that point in time because I had also fallen into a pit. I was at a peak, but I had just fallen into a pit. And the pit was success without fulfillment. I thought I had reached everything. I had accomplished everything. Because for the past 35 years before that, as my story was before I came in, was my story. What was my story? Just like everyone else's. Common denominators. First childhood, education, marriage, divorces, marriage, kids, family, business. As I got into the business, money focused, bad habits. My first wall was my health. It got to the point where I ended up in a hospital, pleading for my life. One more chance. Lying on the operating table. I was going to be operated. They were fucking going to get me out of the state I was in. Thank God he gave me another day. And from that day, I decided to re-engineer 3 years later. That was what got me here. Because then 3 years later, things were good. I was good. That was the call I had with Raul. I'm good. I've already been doing the work. He said, that's your problem, brother. You're just good. And you're seeking greatness. Your soul is seeking greatness. But before you want to go to your next peak, we need to kill that fucking story. Because that story was filled with weight. So and as we come up to 2024, as you can see on this beautiful Picasso, this was not the first one. Even though I've been in the inner circle, I've been in every single event practically, the marriage retreat, the boot camps, multiple boot camps, the business boot camp, 3 beyond the edge boot camps. Kept saying yes. And that was the key to my progress. I kept saying yes. But what was the factor that elongated my progress is that when I would hit these valleys, I would isolate every single time. In and out, like Raul said, in and out, in and out. And it would look like different, it would show differently. Whether it was me hiding from the inner circle calls, or not coming to this event once in a while, or it was not answering when he would call me to come and help. No, not now. I got business. I don't got time. Or any other fucking excuse. But it was always this. It was my level of disconnection. And the thing is this, I didn't realize this really until this year. Why? It's because I made a choice this time around, at the beginning of this year. I said, I'm not going to fall back into my patterns. Because I realized my own patterns. I was getting tired of my own pattern. I was like calling myself out. Like I could just hear myself saying to myself, stop being a bitch. You know, just like I heard that talk. It's like, switch your fucking choice. And I made a choice and really started to analyze all my lessons and the preparation that I have right now in this moment to really allow my situation to be a trampoline to my next level. Because throughout these other pits and peaks and valleys, I was always using my own force. I had my brothers there, yes, as serving as an example, and even helping me to my next level. Force, but by force. And this time around, I said, what is the key? What's it going to be So first of all, it's okay, what's the fucking opposite of disconnecting? It's connecting. So I said, okay. If God says, if I'm kingdom focused, and he will provide everything else, I'm going to test this shit out. Because at the beginning of the year, my CFO said, if you do not get your shit together, if you don't patch these fucking cracks that you have in the next 3 to 6 months, you're going to turn off the fucking lights. Holy fuck. So I said, okay, I'm still going to be kingdom focused. So what does it mean to connect? What did I do? Number one, I started focusing on my clients, not transactional, but as a servant. I started reaching back out to them physically, because for the past 10 years or so, ever since the digital age, we've turned so transactional. So I started going back, and not just me, my team. I started taking back the Edge virus to my team. The way I come and train here, I started taking it back and doubling down on it, because throughout the years, I had also been doing it periodically. But this time I said, I'm going to go infect these motherfuckers. I'm not going to be the only crazy one. And what did that happen? We started going out all over the country. We've done over 120 or 130 or so flights all around the country, touching our clients and really getting into their operations to see how we can really help serve them. Here in the Edge community, in the last 100 days, it's been my most consistent level of connection. Yes or no, Sparring Wolves? Where are my wolves at? Oh! These brothers have helped me. This is what's helped me maintain my connection outwards also. Every week we connect. Every week we're sharing each other's stories. And that's what's been giving me the proof, the energy to continue that concept. The creator of the universe didn't set the second commandment. The first one is to love him and focus on him first. Second one, to love your brother, to serve, to serve. And yes, all these concepts that Raul talks about here, there is, because there is a number to them. The problem is when we only focus on the number, we miss the point of the purpose. And that is what, on the other side of the next level, because right now, what I do have right now in this moment is just certainty. I have the certainty that in the next 3 to 6 months, I will reach this peak. I already can see it. I already know the next steps. All I got to do is just keep showing up. Because I know the formula. I know this formula. I found the formula. But not just I just found this formula. Yes, there is a number attached to it, but beyond the number is the purpose. And understanding the real purpose. And understanding how this works. The tip of is the bottom of your next level, of your next cycle. How long does those cycles have to be? For me, it was so far 44 years, 7 years, learning the hard way, trying to do it with my own force, in and out. I have the formula to the next level, to my next years. I don't know how many years it's going to take, but I do now know that it will be less than 7 years. And it's not just me. You can go to my organization. We even mapped out by 2030, we have the formula to become a $100 million company. Last year, we were revving at 20 million. But beyond the number is, what is the purpose? Because that's something that is romanticized a lot. And until I started doing this drawing in my book yesterday, it started to hit me. It started to hit me to understand why, because I know there's a lot of men in here also that are on this next page, the page that Jarek shared with us. Because I saw Jarek before he was the $100 million brand. I saw him on his journey. And there are many other men right now also on this next page already. And this is where, on the next page, always on the next part, beyond what we can see, is what is called the calling, and not the fucking asking. God is not asking you. The calling is on the other side. And until I mapped this out, I began to see really what it meant as I look back at the other journeys, and as we continue to say yes, our capacity to help and multiply others begins to expand. Just have the other brothers as they continue to move forward, because don't think that because Jarek is at one of his peaks right now that he's not in pain. Don't think for 1 second that any of the inner circle members has no pain. We just have different tools and understanding of purpose, of how to use the pain to purpose, to switch pain to purpose, to profits, pain to profits, to purpose, and purpose over profits. So I began to see this. And this is what became my pool now. I know this is just on the other side. And what I begin to see is, who are these people? And you also, because as we look back at our journey, there are others that are a couple steps behind you. And as you keep breaking through, as you keep saying yes to your health, to your business, to your life, to keep taking it to the next level, as you continue to say yes to your calling, there are others watching you. The problem is when we think it's just for ourselves. That's where we get fucking stuck. And this is what my biggest question is. How many people does God have lined up for me? He has a number. He created me. He knows every single hair I have on my head, the hair count, and he knows every single one of us by name. He named us. He has this number. What is it? I don't know. I just know my calling is to continue to say yes. I know what it's like to be where you're at right now. As far as whether you're in a pit, in a peak right now, you're still faced with a choice. Before I came to a leadership, I went to a boot camp first. Because I got on the phone and it was the level of pain and they say that's the worst pain. Success without fulfillment. I didn't know it at the time. I thought my pain was I just needed more money because I had achieved so much that I hadn't achieved in my whole life. I thought, okay, I just need to go get the hack. But I had already been to many motivational seminars. I knew it wasn't motivation. It was something deeper. So I went all in and I really understood what it was at a different level. But that's just when the work began. It just began. As you could see, it was just the beginning. Right now, I see my cup half full. A lot of my peers start fucking talking about retirement and what the fuck? What the fuck is that? Just getting started. Today you have the same opportunity. I don't give a fuck where you're at. Or you're on a peak, the pit, wherever it's at, wherever, on one of these diagrams that you're at, the choice you make today, the choices you make today to really go in on all of yourself, the choice you make to continue to trust the process. I've been in many rooms. Last night I was having a conversation with some brothers, and they asked me, like, really, Justin? So I started kind of giving them a heads up on my journey, and I had mentioned to them of all the different rooms I've been in. I've now coming up probably close to $1 million in personal development, been in a lot of the big name brand rooms, and they asked me, and I didn't want to come out and say, first of all, like, yeah, it's the edge, yes. Kind of sound like a quick response, the obvious response. I told them the truth, it's like, yeah, I've been in so many rooms and they're great. It depends on the phase you're at, there's different gurus that we seek. The reason why I continue here and will continue to be in this room is because we're not following a guru. Like Raul told us, he is able to see the different brothers in their journeys and able to come and give us those tools that's helping the others. And he doesn't allow us to play fucking small. We do not allow our brothers to play fucking small. So, this year, I had the honor to assist at 2 boot camps. Alongside Christian, Raul, and the team, and helping the brothers in that first phase. And before Raul comes back on, I'd like for the brothers that this year, we're missing quite a few, but the brothers that have been at the boot camp this year, that said yes.
The last one or this year?
Either one. The most recent brothers. There you go. Come up, guys. Come up here, guys. Come on. Is Raul here? We're missing quite a few brothers. But it was because of these brothers this year, of them saying yes, of them going all in, and seeing you guys today. You guys make me a bigger believer, more conviction on my kingdom, or why I continue to have to say yes, as painful as it can fucking be, but at the same time as glorious as it can be. To see each one of you in the last 100 days, 180 days, 360 days, to see you. I'm honored because I know that we're all called to that next level. And as long as you guys don't quit, As long as the men keep showing up, I won't fucking quit either. Thank you, brothers.
Don't you fucking quit.
Let's give Raul a big hand. Raul, come on, Raul. Let's welcome Raul back onto the stage.
Two clubs.
Stay here, guys. Stay here. Andy.
Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Two clubs. One more time. One more time.
Andy.
Two